is a view of the light, a fire burning through the night. We rise, we shine, we take the fight. A view of the light.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited for today. Welcome, come on in, look at us. We have so many beautiful souls here, and we welcome all of you beautiful souls to come in and enjoy us today. I just put out the sage. I was doing the sage as we were on the other side, listening to that beautiful song that I love. But exciting things are happening here at Spirit Sessions, and you really do want to be subscribed. And would you say the bell thing, Rhonda?
Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a show.
So you don't miss a show. This is part 2 that we are honored to do. Last week we had Carolani, who was showing us how one of the things we need as feminine is our creativity, our freedom of expression, and things like that. So what do you do if it's been suppressed or something, things to bring out? So she shared with us, and we all share different techniques that we all use. Today, we are continuing this amazing conversation with Dr. Amber Mele'ha Wolf. Yeah, woo, 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 woo. I'm so excited. Today, the story takes a deeper turn. We get to hear some of the exciting history of the divine feminine as brought to us from our star mothers, among other things. Just me, that's the one I tapped into. You know what I mean? So without further ado, let's jump into it. Amber Wolf, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you, beautiful goddesses, for having me here, having Pele and I here. Great story about this. I was on the Big Island in 2016 or 17 for an event called Return to Lemuria. And I had only been channeling the Star Mothers for about 6 years, yeah. Not that long in terms of everything that's evolved, but we went into the shop, like gift shop thing on the in the national park, Volcanoes National Park.
Awesome.
We spent the morning there with Kahuna Kale'iliahi and
I remember
the Star Mothers and Lee Carroll and Cryon, of course.
Yeah.
And so we went in this beautiful national park museum, and at the, poking around, just looking at things, beautiful things. And at the end of the hallway, it had been an old building with lots of little rooms. I think it was an office before it became more of an art gallery, and all local artisans. And so at the very end of this long hallway with all these little rooms was Pele, and she was looking right at me, just like that. And, I thought, oh no, just look at it, just enjoy it, and I did. And I left without it. And I got home and she was haunting me. And so I saw the place in Hawaii. I came all the way back to Arizona and had to have it shipped. Had to have her shipped because
nice.
She belongs with me. Yeah, she's really part of the whole natural. I mean, lava is what created Hawaii. So her whole vibration of that, she works very closely with the Star Mothers, and of course all the creatures of the ocean and the land and the sky. So I feel blessed to have this reminder all the time. So the Pleiadian Star Mothers, who got me into a place in myself where I could remember my lifetime in Lemuria.
Oh, neat.
And that was really what started. I didn't start channeling them. I was hearing them, and they were directing me, and what should I do next, and all these different things. And it was always, they once they were in, they were there all the time. But it was the story behind the reason that they came to the earth 200,000 years ago. That is where the real energy started to show up for me, because the story, um, it's interesting when you look at history that old, um, and compare it to history of this country, not very old. Um, and then history of civilizations like the Egyptians and the East Indians and the Asians, and their civilizations are like 5,000 years old, although we do know that there's a temple that's 10,000 years old. The goddess temple in Asia is 10,000 years old, but not 200,000. So that's kind of become my point of reference for all of this, and how long it takes to develop a civilization and all the changes that it goes through in the meantime, and that we have waves of change all the time. I mean, we can even just look at a couple hundred years in our country. I think it's 250 years this year is the anniversary of, I won't get into that because I get on the box about that. But in 200,000 years, and the interesting thing is that the Pleiadians don't count. The beings that are not embodied don't count on a calendar.
Right.
We do.
Yeah, not the same.
And so we say X number of years, or next week, or yesterday, or this morning. And there's no way we can relate to sort of that fifth dimensional, sixth, seventh, 10th dimensional time and space that, we don't have in this form. But their plan was, as they connected with Gaia, who she herself is a sentient being, asked her if she would be up for holding the consciousness of the divine feminine and beginning again to bring that into the world. So when you think about what else was going on in this world 200,000 years ago, not much, right? Not much. So
well, I'm thinking, was that the time, people like Greg Braden, et cetera, they talk about our brain changing, like in the space of, 10 generations, et cetera. And which is, creating structures where we can easily access more of the multi-dimensions. Is that time, or I might be getting that wrong?
Well, honestly, I don't think there's a wrong there. I think that, and if we really go into multi-dimensions, who knows how many things were happening at once, right? I believe that as humans, we went through a time where we didn't need to struggle to survive, where the climate was nice and there was food, and, we had a language, and we watched nature go through all her phases, and we moved in harmony with that. And once, I'm throwing this out there, once we didn't have to struggle to survive and use our mammalian brain, we were able to develop our frontal lobe more, that we could do things like write. We didn't probably write we made pictographs, but we didn't need a book or a piece of paper or send a letter. So once we, sort of came down from that, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we had to have food, clothing, and shelter before we could even have any connection to spirituality that wasn't outside of, oh, look, the sun came up again today. So I feel like that's when we made a shift. And, we started to, if we go from 200,000 years and what it would take to energetically shift the consciousness of the planet. How long does that take? We don't know. We have no idea. But the Star Mothers planted 12 energetic nodes around the planet, all in pretty much mountain peaks,
Right.
so that when it was time for this wave of consciousness to happen, we would be unlocking those treasures, troves of energy. But in the meantime, when the Star Mothers came to Lemuria and started to teach the people who were there, I mean, the people that were there already had a working civilization. I mean, the Star Mothers wouldn't have come to people in caves who were grunting and
Right.
just maybe had fire, maybe not.
Okay.
The civilization of Lemuria, they had, they were raising, they knew how to farm, they knew they had fish, they, built structures, they had herbs and teachers and healers, and they had that already. And they had a pretty balanced society. But what the Star Mothers brought was the consciousness of what happens when you bring divinity, when you throw this into the mix. The
Right.
DNA of a Pleiadian Star Mother, who is formless anyway, and comes into some kind of human form to create something that can be an egg that can be fertilized by a human Lemurian. And the baby that is born of that is what? 50-50, right? A divine human. So the first divine humans were born. And I'm not saying this because I'm a woman, but it makes sense to me. I'm very practical that way, that if it were the Star Mothers who came and not the Star Fathers, we couldn't have gestated, right? It would have been Star Fathers impregnating humans.
Oh, yeah.
So
Right.
it would have been that way. But
Yeah.
so there was this choice to have it be Star Mothers to help anchor what is divine consciousness. It's inherently feminine. It's inherently feminine.
Right.
And, I'm sure there are some people who would disagree with that, and that's absolutely their right. But if I look at the difference between the masculine and the feminine, and really it's not that I don't like or men or have them in my life, or I was married, I have a male child. So it's not that at all. But when you look at who the feminine is and what she does, it makes sense that divinity would spring from her, that she
Right.
is able to create another human being inside her body and feed that human being until it's, old enough to have teeth and chew food on its own.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, it's that we think in circles. We think in how the community is affected. We gather people to us. We gather the stars to us. We gather the significance of nature. That's just who we are. We're nesty. And so we gather things, whether or not you've had a child or ever wanted to have a child. If you came in with a woman's body, you're going to want that. And that for me was what began the sort of arc of creation of the divine feminine, was the Pleiadian Star Mothers. Now they gestated, this had to take time. If you do the math, there were 7 of them. Did they all get pregnant at once? Let's say they all got pregnant at once and they all gestated for 9 months and they had 7 females. Like, let's just go to that extreme.
Okay.
So those 7 female children had to grow up, right?
Yeah.
And be able to have a child. And the Star Mothers could have another bunch by then.
Yeah.
But the new ones had to get to be at least 13, 14, something like that, I would hope. but that's my I'm putting my feelings into it. But so if that was really how it happened, in a real basic biological way, it would take a long time to create this civilization of divine humans, right?
Right. Yeah.
Generations, like 100 years at least, I think. Just doing the math, like I said. So, okay, so 100 years out of 200,000, that's not a lot.
Okay.
So so from there, say we have 50 women who are able to give birth, and that keeps
It's
going.
speeding up now.
Yeah, it starts to go faster, but then what are we going to do with them? Because here's something or someone that's never been on the planet before. How are they going to cope with this new internal machine that they have? So we start teaching in a way that we've never taught. And what the Star Mothers gave us back in 2017, at the time of this picture, was the Lemurian teaching wheel. And it was when
That's right.
Calais and Lee and I were sitting on the stage and he says, Cryon said, it was because of these two women on either side of me that I'm able to bring this information through.
Yeah.
So in that 5-spoked wheel with the rim and a hub came all the teachings for the children that had been born of both genders up until age 12. And then the wheel was turned and it became the adult wheel. And then when they were finished with that side, then, and this was not until 2019, Cryon channeled for me. Lee said that the Star Mothers told Cryon to tell me. So it wasn't, they never spoke directly to Lee, but the Star Mothers told Cryon to tell Lee to tell me that it was time for a wheel just for the women. And that became the shamanic teaching wheel. And again, it was the same 5 spokes, rim, and a hub, and each one having each spoke had a specific meaning, and that was given by Cryon. And then the wheel turned over once we finished the first side. And it was a whole year of teaching. And it was the same for the Lemurian teaching wheel. And it wasn't until that was finished, the Lemurian teaching wheel, that the shamanic teaching wheel came through. It might have been even a year or two after. So they have a plan. They have a plan that we don't know about ahead of time. And we just, okay, it's time for this. Okay, it's time for this.
It's still unfolding.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's beautiful to know that we're so taken care of that way. I mean, if someone said, okay, the Star Mothers came here the Pleiadians came here 200,000 years ago to shift the consciousness of humanity. Okay, well, great. Then what? What? Okay, do we just, ohm until it happens or what? So they gave us these real grounded teaching methods. And I keep, and of course Cryon keeps, and so many other teachers keep teaching how to continue to up level this human so that we get the other half. We have it. We all carry that.
Exactly. That's beautiful. We can dip our toe into a blissful state, occasionally, when something is gifted to us or through us, but it's being able to sustain it and weave it into life in kind of a practical way. That's enlightenment. That is enlightenment, to get to know who we are, like any true initiations. It sounds like you're talking about initiations, making us more us.
Yeah, exactly. And I firmly believe that I was chosen to do my part of it because I'm so very practical.
Okay.
I have a Taurus sun, Taurus rising,
Oh.
Capricorn moon. I mean, really,
Oh.
really grounded. And yet, all these amazing teachings come through me, and I never question them. I just am blessed all the time. And what that did for me began something called the Lemurian Sisterhood. And the
Right.
subtitle of that is Honoring and Empowering the Divine Feminine. Because we know we're women, but none of us, I can say this fairly surely, have been raised knowing that we are divine, that women are divine, that we are. I have this little sign on my desk.
Oh,
Worthy.
I love it.
Yes, that we are worthy of being in the world as equal and teachers of divine feminine.
Coming from a Christian background, I know that it wasn't until recently that we were even like shown, even though it's in the scriptures, that wisdom, divine wisdom, is called Sophia.
Yeah.
And it's named, and they're going like, you guys never said that before. You never taught that before. You never brought it forward. That we always thought of Father, Son,
like
and Holy
we won't
Spirit.
Notice, right?
Yeah, like okay, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but where's the feminine? Oh, spirit or divine wisdom is female, and that's a big part of what is supposed to inspire us and carry us and do. Is that divine?
Yeah. I totally agree. And I was raised in the Catholic Church. And so, the best you could hope for was being a nun or emulating, the nun's life where you were devoted to Jesus, where you were bride of Christ. That was the best. But isn't it interesting that in my lifetime, Mary Magdalene, who was the prostitute, is now a saint.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to be said for that, and how the truth, you cannot hide it forever. It just can't happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to make it personal, like the path of the mystic, to feel it, sense it ourselves. And I just got to share, I watched recently one of your recent YouTubes about the spring equinox. It was relatively short, like 8 minutes or so. And a few minutes in, you said, okay, well, let's invite in the Lemurian Sisterhood, and or some words like that. And immediately this wave came through. Like you mentioned it very subtly and softly, and I was just bathing, enveloped in this beautiful sense of the divine feminine. Oh, angel bumps, just that beautiful divine feminine, like worthy, precious, sacred, yes. And I felt like I was being held by all of the grandmothers throughout all time.
Oh, wow. That really, I get a little, I get excited, a little nervous when I do these things. I notice I get a knot in my belly, but as you're saying that, I just felt it.
Oh,
so thank you for that.
And I don't know if any of our other attendees or anybody here has experienced that. If not, please go to Amber's YouTube and watch that one about the spring equinox recalibration. I think you were calling it something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's Lemurian Sisterhood Global is the name of the channel.
That's right. Lemurian Sisterhood Global. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it was a gift. It was a gift.
Well, thank you so much. I always have a script for those kinds of things, no matter how long or short they are. And I probably do about 10% of it, and the rest comes as it's supposed to, and I trust that. But the practical part of me wants the script in front of me with the bullet points, and then I'm not even looking at it. So whatever it takes.
So for this event, I have 3 questions, and I was going to start to ask you the 3 questions, and then we can move on from there or something. But this has spawned some beautiful, heartwarming conversations when I ask them. So it's kind of exciting. So the first question, when you, Amber, think of unleashing the voice of the divine feminine, what comes up for you, and how has this shaped your work? And I know it has everything to do with your work. And so I'm excited to see what comes through for 2026 right now.
Well, as a bull, as a double bull, it's my nature to just charge in. But I also understand, and I can be very bull in the china closet. That's a great example of me. But I have learned that that's a good way to make people run away, just like you would if you were a bull charging in a field. So I have the word unleash is not one that I would use because it indicates something that's going to be a rush and happen all at once.
Okay.
And I really don't think it can be like that. I honestly don't think this form could hold that vibration if we just like flipped a switch and suddenly we were living in 50% divinity and 50% humanity. We're probably living in like 90-10 or maybe 80-20. So I think it's a process. I'd like to get as much of it done in this life as I can.
Yes.
But we just, we don't know.
Yes, we don't want to go backwards.
No. No, that's, interesting that quite a while ago, Cryon did say that once you become conscious of yourself and your consciousness, you start over with that. You don't start over from zero like we sort of did in this life. You start over with the knowing that you left with.
Right.
And I said, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. So I'm programmed for that. But the divine feminine, I don't think it needs to assert itself either. I think it's more of a self-realization that it happens here inside. It doesn't, and of course that will affect what we do outside.
Right.
But I'm basically really an introvert, and it's been a lot for me to get up on a stage following someone like Lee or Greg and having the audience look at me, and in their mind they're comparing me, and like how long till she's done, or
no.
nearly as interesting as those guys, or whatever my mind is making up. And I really believe that our biggest asset is ourselves, is learning to hold ourselves in as we would our really good friends. Would we let our friends talk down to themselves? No. Would we allow our friends to have a pity party? No. I have been in the position where I've felt bad about something, and a good friend of mine said to me, if you were your own patient, what would you advise right now? And that was, oh God, no, not that. But it takes you out of that connection to your old patterns and your programming and all the subliminal negative emotions about who you are and what you're capable of and what the world thinks about you. And I love that someone said, we're always thinking about what other people are thinking about us, but really they're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about us.
Absolutely. It's so much freedom once you realize that, right?
And that's a huge control. That's one of the ways we're going to be controlled. Is my mother used to say that all the time. Oh, what will people think?
And so
Mm.
who cares? They
Okay.
don't think about us at all.
No, they don't. They could give it.
It's
Whatever.
like a Venn diagram, right? They only think of us about us when we kind of pass in that little tiny
Yeah,
spot.
in that moment, but they don't go home and think about us or call somebody up and
I'm
talk
thinking
about
about Mele'ha.
yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
no.
I remember I heard once, whatever anyone has to say about you is none of your business.
It's none of you. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember?
So as I grew with this work and did other things, you know, like the Lemurian codes cards that I created.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love
Creating
those.
the Lemurian sisterhood and all of those things. I was very conscious of what people thought by judging by their response to my work. Did people buy cards? Did they sign up for events? Did they go to YouTube? We have all those metrics that tell us whether or not we're okay and how we can adjust to be okay for the audience. But what I realized was that I was playing small with that. And it's definitely, I really don't want to go around pissing people off. I mean, I don't. And I don't want to, and I know I get comments sometimes that say I'm from the devil or, you
Oh
know, what,
no.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
Mm.
far few, I mean, like 1 in 100. So, but those people are out there without their life and they do that.
All right.
But the longer I've done this, the less and less I care about that. I do care about people having useful tools that will enhance their life and their growth. They may not get them through me. And many times, like I've interviewed Lee and Greg and Bruce and Dr. Todd and, you know, all these people that I've hosted and produced and, you know, the heart math people, all those, the neurographic people, because they have useful tools. It's not just me. And I'm not the only one. There are so many. And what I like to do is use what I know about energy and healing and consciousness to help people forward in their journey. And if I hold back myself, that's not really that helpful.
No.
And
it's great to be a catalyst, right?
That's the best.
That's the best gift.
I want to see that on my tombstone. She was a catalyst.
You didn't do it yourself, but you helped move that energy forward so they can
well, and
do
maybe
it themselves.
that's what we're all here to do, is to be
I
catalysts.
believe so.
Even if we were not being teachers and we're just working on we're working on our own path and our own consciousness, we are catalyzing a wave of consciousness. And that is just as important as anything.
Yeah, I think so.
So
did I answer that question enough?
Yeah, you did. And I think it may be fine for the second question too, which is what's awakening in the divine feminine in 2026? And I think this the inner work you're talking about, recognizing ourselves.
Yeah. You know, I think it feels to me like it's always good to have mirrors. And not the kind that you look at yourself in, but the kind that you feel yourself in. And those are the people around me. Who do I attract? What do people feed back to me about how their path is going? And, you know, just look at the state of the world. Of course, a lot of it catalyzed by this country, as always. And I can't go there. I cannot go there. I have to hold a consciousness for the highest and most benevolent good and peace on the planet and love for the planet, period. And then my work is my work, and I have to work on me. And I see that there really needs to be more community,
Right.
Mother Teresa once said, back in the 80s, maybe, they invited her to some kind of anti-bomb, anti-war, anti-whatever rally. And she said, I will never protest against war, but if you invite me to a protest for peace, I'll be there. So I think that really is the way that we'll be able to change ourselves. I mean, when we worry about what's going on out there, look what happens to our physiology. We tank.
Yes.
Cortisol level goes down. We do, we doom scroll. We do all this stuff that I don't want to know, because it makes us sick, literally sick. So our job, should we decide to take it, should we care to step up, is to find that place of peace within us and keep going back there. Today will be my peaceful day. Every day. This will be my peaceful moment, my peaceful hour, and it may shift as soon as you get in traffic, or it may shift as soon as, you can't get your camera to work or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it really isn't going anywhere, and we can always come back to it. No matter where we are, who we're with, what we're doing, we can always come back to it. And one of the things that in the course, The Next Lemuria, that my book is based on, that we did a big work on, was pleasure. And how the old paradigm of pleasure was like numbness. And the new paradigm of pleasure is awakeness. Like, I really want to feel clear in my head. I really want to feel vital in my body. And yeah, massage is pleasurable. And the word pleasure is not dirty. It's not a bad word to say. It's not like, we have to have pleasurable sex in order to have pleasure in our lives. That pleasure can come in so many ways. So I have made it my mission, and I don't stick to this all the time, because I really don't think sticking to any one thing is that healthy, is to say the word pleasure more often. Like when I go to the post office and the people say, have a nice day, and I'll say, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Or the grocery store guy, my little friend Kevin, have a nice day. Thank you, Kevin. It's been a pleasure. And just say that word. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having dinner with my friends. Do I usually say that? No, I say thank you.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, it is my pleasure. Anybody cooking for me is my pleasure. So I love that. I see us in 2026 as really behaving in a way that exudes our consciousness to the world, because we can't just keep it in here. It takes much longer for things to happen. So as we say stuff like that, or do y'all know about the monks that walked across the United States?
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
Yeah, and they're in Sri Lanka right now.
Yeah.
They that's what they say, that every day you write, today will be my peaceful day, and you have to write it. You can't say it, because it involves your brain hemispheres and your kinesthetic, and you're saying it. So I have a little book next to my bed, and sometimes I have to go back, because I get up and I go back and write, today will be my peaceful day.
Today will be my peaceful day.
And I mean, it's so simple. So simple.
I love that. Well, that actually, go ahead.
I'm just thinking, I find pleasure and peace. Or peace is pleasurable. Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. So 2026, and right now, Uranus is leaving Taurus and will never come back in my lifetime.
Is that a good thing?
It's a really good thing because
Okay.
the planet, because it moves,
Same.
the slower moving planets and the further moving planets have very intense effect on us, like Saturn. When we do our Saturn return every
Right.
7 to 29 years, it's
Yeah.
always a very intense time. So Uranus is moving out of Taurus, where it's been for, I don't know. Oh, since 2018, I do know. And if you think about your life, my life since 2018 has been, so much work. Not that there weren't wonderful things also, but there were also very intense things. Like I had a head injury, and I got something called valley fever, which is
I know. That's terrible.
it's in the dirt here. I had them at
Yeah.
the same time.
Oh,
So,
gosh.
it's that kind of stuff. Plus, having to be in front of the camera like this. And it was a lot of trial. I mean, fortunately, it's not like that now, but that's how it started. That's how 2018 started for me. So today, it's in the end of Taurus. And I think everyone will feel that because it's moving into Gemini, which is an air sign, and it's much lighter. And the effect that we'll feel over the next, is it 8 years? How many? Let's see, 2018, 26, 8 years.
8 years.
So over the next 8 years will be the Gemini. And Gemini is a twin, so there's Castor and Pollux, and they're not the same. One is like the happy twin, and the other's like the pensive twin. Not bad, but so you may feel like you're moving forward, but then you get a setback. But it's not like Taurus where you feel like, oh God, this rut is just so deep. So
Eeyore sign sometimes, I think.
see that. I see it. I mean, I really see it as good. And the political world is doing what it does. And I notice the gas prices go up, the gas prices go down, the gas prices go up, the gas prices go
Not
down.
based in reality of anything. It's just based
happens.
in the reality of the billionaires' pockets, and we can't do anything about it. So we just drive less.
There's nothing I don't want to discuss it. I mean, somebody texted me the other day and said, do you know how much I just had to pay for gas? I said, no. No.
So we don't drive as much. No big deal. Walk.
Yeah.
It's better.
I really don't. I mean, I drive like every 4 days or 5 days. I drive a few miles, but that is not the point. The point is, what good does it do me? Does it do any of us to feel the upset of that? I think one thing that we'll have to face, all of us, is what the data centers are doing to the planet and how much we love.
Yeah.
I noticed on Facebook this morning, there was a little comment on the bottom of, I watch animals. That's, dogs, corgis. My son has corgis, so I watch all these corgis.
Oh, neat.
And cats. And sometimes the cows from Scotland, with the furry.
The big Highland cows. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, really. But this one was lions, and the little baby lions, one of them barked. And I thought, that's weird. But then a little thing popped up on the screen and said, this is created by AI. Do you want to have more to say about what AI does in your future? Yeah, of course I do. But the data centers that are processing even what we're doing right now, or even using your cell phone, I mean, we're going to have them. My question is, don't say put them someplace else. How can we do it better? Because they're just building them. People with a lot of money just build them as a way to make more money. But they're not taking into account, I mean, they want to build them here in the desert. We have so little water as it is. Plus heat. They generate an enormous amount of heat. So it's not good. And, if there's a voting thing or anything like that, I vote against it. I just vote for cleaner. Like cleaner. Just cleaner. Do it smarter. You just send somebody around the planet in a big expensive rocket. Hey, the data center's right here doing one thing. Can't we make that better? And I can see that that's going to have to happen. And
Yes.
I look forward to that happening. and I am behind that happening. So that's one of my 2026 visions, and I see that there are a lot of other there are a lot of people who are really interested in farming and keeping good agriculture alive, and I love that. Those are the other people I follow on Instagram, are organic farmers. And how can we, I was in the grocery store a few weeks ago, and this is the desert. There are green trees right there, but on the ground, no grass. It's just sand or gravel. And the reason those trees are alive is because they're irrigated. If there were not, there'd just be cactus. So we like trees. So I was in the grocery store and I picked up this beautiful apple, and I thought, God bless all the people that got this into my hand, because it's coming. It could be coming from Canada, could be coming from Washington. That's not this time of year coming from California or Mexico. So we take all this so for granted that, when I walk in that store and I see what my choices are, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, the amount of like science that went in behind storing them so you could have them. Like, and it's quite a process. Like, we still get fresh fruit from Ontario at this time of year, but it's the process that they have to be in.
Yeah.
And
when I lived in Alaska, I lived in the bush, and we would go into town rarely. And there was one little tiny grocery store, half the size of my office. Wow. And we'd see the apples. This is in the 70s. And we'd see this tiny little apple, kind of squishy, 50 cents, which seemed like $10 then. And we'd buy it, we'd each buy one, and that would be our big treat. It had to be brought in from storage somewhere by airplane, right? By airplane. So, I mean, that's another thing that I do when I look at things in the store. I think about my carbon footprint all the time. Yeah. And I think we need to do that. More of us need to do that. I mean, in Colorado, one winter when I was there were red peppers, and it was snowing outside. And I'm looking at these red peppers, and I'm like, whoa. And I picked it up, and it said product of Peru. Okay, so I'm thousands of miles, air miles from Peru, and here is this perfect pepper. How did that happen? It's organic too. So it's not like it's sprayed with a lot of I'll never change chemicals, but the footprint to get it there, I can't be a part of that. I can't. Well, I learn more about that stuff every day. And another thing that I'm really excited to see happening for 2026 is upcycling. Oh my God, I love it. There's young people are, getting all this fast fashion and creating real things with it that can be used, and they're nice things. They're designer. They're using their creativity to hopefully, and countries like Canada, no more, not Canada, sorry, France, no more fast fashion, no more. They will not even import it. Yeah. So
which I think we should do too, but yeah.
Yeah. We need more of that. And we need more people not going in those stores. Don't buy it if it says it comes from China and it's going to be thrown away. And, there's a great Facebook page called Non-Consumers. And I love going on there. And, one of my pet peeves is that we have so much throwaway plastic. We cannot recycle all this plastic. And there are stores like my friendly neighborhood organic grocery store that don't carry bags anymore. If you don't bring your own bag,
we don't have any bags in Ontario anymore.
You can buy a bag there. You can buy one of their, tough, hard plastic bags, or you can take home a box, or you can bring your own bags. However, the cheese is packed in plastic. The nuts are packed in plastic. The granola is packed in plastic. The meat is packed. The yogurt it's all in plastic. So even though when I get home, I take it all out, and I've thrifted a lot of nice glass containers at Goodwill. People, I don't know why, but they're there in this particular one. But still, then I have this mountain of what do I do with that plastic? Because it cannot be recycled. And I'm so sorry, Mother, that I have to put this back into you. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping, I mean, that people keep seeing ways around that. And, you know, I mean, yes, I bring my reused 100 times Ziploc bags to the grocery store, but I've lived here for 8 years and I've never bought a Ziploc bag.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I just don't need them or use them or want them. And I don't use grocery trash can liners. Here, we cannot do that because the ground temperature is so hot all the time that as soon as you put something wet in a trash can, it starts fermenting.
Wow.
It doesn't matter that your air conditioning is set at 75 or whatever it is, the ground temperature, the water comes out of the faucet warm.
Yeah.
So we separate, we put all the dry stuff in a paper big grocery bag, and all the wet stuff goes in the freezer, like eggshells and peels and stuff. Then when you're ready to take the paper bag out, when it's full, you dump the frozen stuff in there, take it outside. So I have not bought a plastic garbage bag since I've lived here either. I know not everybody can do that, but
but we can all do something, you know. We can all do something.
We can stop. And somebody on the non-consumer website Facebook page was saying, I bring my own to-go containers when I go to eat out because I'm always going to have food left over. And I laughed. I said, I do the same thing.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah. I need a bigger purse, but I don't care. I'll use a big purse because there it is. Yeah. So I see by necessity that has to happen, all of these things in 2026. Awesome. Because as they say, there is no planet B.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no, I love that.
There's no planet B. I don't care how many, I mean, what honestly would it take to live on another planet with no oxygen and no water and no food? I mean, we can't do that. Maybe a dozen very wealthy people could do it. Maybe that's a good place for them after all. But what they leave behind is their mess.
I always take solace in the fact that during COVID, how when people stopped going out and doing stuff, that how quickly Mother Nature bounced back.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yes.
At the demise of us, nature is going to bounce back. We're not going to totally destroy nature.
No.
It'll bounce back. We may be destroyed, but nature will bounce back. So I'm always take solace in that.
Do you remember that little animated movie, WALL-E?
Yes.
Where they had to circle the planet because they trashed it, but then there was this one little green thing. Oh. Yes, I'm sure. But I would rather contribute to it bouncing back.
Yes, absolutely now.
Then it's destruction. So So
and we can always do one thing or one thing positive. And
I think this, you know, in the year of the fire horse, which I think was something, I said this on a different YouTube. I did a YouTube for the year of the fire horse. And a lot of the images I was seeing was a horse galloping across a burning, you know, desert plain or whatever. You know, this is the image of the fire horse. And I thought, I don't think so. My image is, here's the horse. I've been riding. I'm going to camp for the night. I stop at a stream, make a little fire to cook food. You know, like let's bring it from that full on crazy to how about this? How about, yes, we need some fire. Yeah, we need some
beautiful.
But let's have it be in a more gentle way.
Yeah, we clear gently. Yeah, clearing out the crap gently.
Yeah. So we've learned a lot of tips here that are really cool, which brings us to the next question, of course. Okay. So I wrote some of them down, upcycling and because of creativity and thinking of our carbon blueprint. And I've written some down. But what is one practice or perspective that you can recommend to help people embody their voice of the divine feminine in everyday life this year? Which, like I said, see a lot of those tips that we were talking about. I think, oh, wow, how each question fits into the next. I love it.
Mhm.
So embodying their voice of the divine feminine. I think that I would have to say it starts with self-love and self-care. Because if we don't have that, all that other stuff, it won't last. You know, we won't, it'll be fun for a while, but it won't last. And the hardest thing is doing that for ourselves. Like, what do I need right now? I know I said I would go to the grocery store. And I have to say, this is one gift of having a head injury and being so sick, is you really learn to prioritize what absolutely has to happen.
Oh, yes.
And in that case, you learn a lot. I mean, I'm not having it with the cosmic 2x4 anymore. Thank you very much. But I now do that. Like, my friend invited me to California. Lee and Monica invited me to California to spend my birthday with them for a week. And I would love to do that. I would love to do that. But I can't. And as much, and I know I had all this struggle. And this morning I woke up and I was like, no, I need to not do that for me. And that's a better birthday gift. Taking care of
When
me.
is your birthday? It's coming up, right?
Yeah, May 16th. On that crazy new moon we have this big.
Sweet.
We have
That's
some crazy new moon. Well, it'll be Scorpio because we're in Taurus. So it'll be a Scorpio new moon. Yeah. Wait, now. It would be the Scorpio full. Well, we have two full.
There's a full moon. There's a Scorpio full moon coming up. And then there's a Taurus new moon.
Okay, so we have Sun and Moon in Taurus. Wow. I'm just thinking, anyway, that's when my birthday is. And so self-love and self-care will make all the difference, because unfortunately, maybe, let's see, March 3rd, a partial lunar eclipse, August 28th. Oh no, that's key moon events. Sorry, that's not that helpful. August, May 31st is the full blue moon. Yeah. So the 1st of May and the 31st of May, but that's just the calendar. I forget what I was saying. Help me, girls.
You were reminding us how important it is about self-love, self-care, foundation, everything sustainable.
Because nobody else will, I mean, not ever do it for us. You know, sometimes somebody will cook you dinner, or sometimes somebody will give you a gift of massage, maybe, or something like that. But every day, it's down to you to love yourself enough. You're worthy enough to deserve self-love and self-care. Full stop. I mean, everything comes from there. And self-love may not look like fun sometimes. It may look like you're juicing today, or it may look like you're going to go for a big walk instead of a little walk, or you're going to take a nap.
Yes, that's my favorite.
So, there's, for me, it changes every day. Yesterday, I was sure I was going to go swimming, but I didn't. In the morning, that was my intention. As the day went on, different things happened. And by the time it came to be swimming time, I was like, no, not feeling it.
So you have to do some loving kindness meditation for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. May it be filled with loving kindness.
Yeah.
Be held
and that's part of that, my peaceful day is loving kindness, compassion, self-compassion. I mean, and all that changes our self-awareness. And that word self-full and selfish, I mean, don't be selfish. Share it with your brother, your sister, your cousins, your people that are starving in India. I think it was China when I was growing up. Eat everything. There's people starving in China. Don't be selfish.
Yeah.
And how that was another program that we're getting out of, fortunately, because we cannot serve from an empty well. We just can't. So filling your well every day, however you need to.
Fill it first.
Yeah.
Don't leave it to the last of the day. Start off
No.
first.
No,
So
because then you don't get a good night's sleep, and you're worried that you didn't do it. And it's just a terrible domino effect of how it, yeah. And if you get into the conversation of, oh, I didn't, and I meant to, and I wanted to, all of that, and then you start self-blame and shame and guilt, that's worse than just don't do it.
Definitely.
Just don't do
That's
it.
self-loathing. No good.
Do it tomorrow or not, but don't beat yourself up for what you didn't do today.
Who's got energy for that anyway, right?
No, but it's a program, and it's a real easy program to fall into because that's what we were taught. It was taught to our parents. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taught it to us. They weren't geniuses in teaching stuff. They just did what was taught to them. I can remember my grandmother she was born in 1899. So this is how far back this goes.
Oh, neat.
She said to me, I asked her something about why she did something in the house the way that she did. And she said, because that's the way Grandpa wants it. And I always want to make him happy first.
Oh.
So that was my programming. You always make him happy first. And I mean, there is definitely something joyful in caring for others. Absolutely. And we all do it. And if it becomes something that you have to do, it starts taking away from you. I mean, if you have a child and you have to take care of them, although some parents don't. Some parents pass that responsibility on to the state or to another adult or out in the street. And that is heartbreaking. But when you know that you have a responsibility, show up. And this is where that starts. And I think as I'm saying this, what feels right for me is that when we learned to take care of others first, we stopped taking care of ourselves. So what are we going to do about that? There won't be an us to take care of others. So self-love, self-care, self-compassion, fill your well, dance in the street, take off your bra, put your feet up, take a nap, whatever it is.
Yeah. I love it. So this has been wonderful today. And I appreciate all the insight because it feels so warm and loving. Oh, almost Teresa Klein was saying something about that earlier, and I don't remember it right now, but the way it lands. Oh yeah, like grandmother energy, even like that's what it was. There's this beautiful energy where we've landed here. And when I do this divine feminine thing every year, this is what I'm looking for, this beautiful ambience that we have when we just return to ourselves for a few minutes and get that insight.
Yeah.
So Amber, where can people who are watching find you? I mean, your links are in the video description and in the podcast description.
You can find me here in Tucson if you're ever in Tucson.
I come in the winter because I hear, like, my one friend who lives in Phoenix says the only thing a lighter skin than a Canadian in the wintertime is somebody from Phoenix, because we never go outside.
You never go outside. Well, Phoenix can actually be hotter than Tucson, even though we're a couple hours south. We're higher in elevation, and we're not all paved everywhere like Phoenix is paved everywhere. Summer here is not that great. I am taking a trip of goddesses. We just have 5 women from Taiwan sign up to go to Mount Shasta with me.
Okay.
And I will be doing a program with the Shift Network this summer. It's called Lemuria Rising, A New Human Destiny.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
I'll be broadcasting from Mount Shasta for the first 3 or 4 episodes. So
Ooh.
all of that stuff is on my website, amberwolfphd.com. Instagram is Lemurian Sisterhood Global. Facebook is my name, or Lemurian Sisterhood Global. I am always happy to speak at events like this. Always, always. So if there are other people listening that have other groups and things like that, I'm happy to come and pray with you.
So great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you for having me. It's my favorite subject.
I
It
love
brings
that.
us all great pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to next time, whenever that is.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah.
Let's
So
do it again.
next week on Spirit Sessions, we're taking not really a break, but a pause. We will be celebrating Taurus season, and we'll be pulling cards for all the Taurus friends, and then of course for all the collectives. So because we don't want to miss out, But we're going to pull another round of cards with a message directly from the Divine Feminine. And so that is going to be so much fun. And then I want to again remind everybody at the end of this whole series on May 17th, there's a beautiful meeting place. It's in a grove of pillars and
It's beautiful.
and those olive trees right there, and you're overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. And what is this place? This is the Temple of Her Voice. And we're going to meet after Spirit Sessions and go there. So it's like Spirit Sessions is at 12 noon, and then at Eastern Time, 1:30 is when we're all going to enter. And so there's a link for you all to sign up, and we've been putting it out there. So it's just one click and you're already signed up. And this is his experience. It's not more webinar. It's not necessarily a continuation of what we're doing here. It's an experience that we can all step into and be a part of. Like I'm telling you, the beautiful scenery is not just what you look at. You're going to be in that scenery. And so it's going to be a beautiful space, and I can't wait to share it all with you. May 17th. Sign up now.
Yay.
Yeah, because there's wonderful gifts and prizes. So
Oh,
sign up.
yeah.
So
Yeah, there's like a swag bag, but we're calling it temple gifts. Everyone has some temple gifts that we're offering for those that attend. So, woohoo. Woohoo.
But thank you again, and happy birthday early to you.
Thank you, Ron.
My daughter's a Taurus on Monday as well.
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful.
My daughter-in-law last week. I have a house full of Aries and Tauruses. So in my place, yeah, fun.
Yeah. Someday we'll swap those stories.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Teresa and TK. Thank you. And thank you, audience. It's always wonderful to spend time in a sacred circle with all of you.
So cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is a view of the light.